As we all know, our computer needs hardware and also software. The software are executed when you start the computer. The hardware are the dash of the computer like keyboard, mouse, printer, speakers, scanners, etc. and can do input and output devices. Devices dash to the system so that the software which depends on them are able to work. So to ensure that all the input and output devices are connected to the system and are working properly, we needed a separate well-defined system which was named as BIOS. So what is BIOS? The BIOS is an integrity program which was the first program to run when you start your computer. It does the wire of hardware initialization and checks better all the hardware needed to start the system and well connected. It passes the message to microprocessor that the system are ready to work. So when you start your computer, you switch on the CPU and the power goes to the microprocessor chip that plays inside in the motherboard. The microprocessor provides the power to BIOS to check all the better attachments are in better place. The operating system loaded only after the BIOS turned the integrity check. BIOS also works as a data flow optimism which makes the data directly flow from the devices to the memory. The BIOS comes when you turn it on because no computer can start without the BIOS. There are 4 basic functions of the BIOS. First, the power on self-test. It tests the computer hardware. Second, the bootstrap loader. Locating the operating system, if the capable operating system is found, it passes the message to start it. Third, the BIOS drivers. The basic drivers required for the computer hardware to operate them or the operating system. Fourth, the CMOS setup. The CMOS chip stores the basic information like time of the system clock. It keeps running even the computer is switched off. 바라보면 자꾸 눈물이 나는 건 왠지 몰라도 돌고 돌아 내게 오고. When power is turned on, power on self-test is the diagnostic testing sequence that a computer's basic input and output system or starting program runs to determine if the computer keyboard, random access memory, disk drives, and other hardware are working correctly. CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor, is a term usually used to describe the small amount of memory on a computer motherboard that stores the BIOS settings. Booting process. Booting is a process or set of operations that loads and starts the operating system when user switches on the power button. For a successful computer boot, its BIOS, computer system, and hardware must be working properly. When the computer's power is first turned on, the CPU initializes itself. The CPU initialization is triggered by a series of clock ticks by the system clock. A part in CPU initialization is to look in system's BIOS for its first instruction in startup program. What is a BIOS? It is a firmware within flash ROM. Its first instruction is to run the power on self-test or POS. POS checks all connected hardware to make sure it is all functioning properly, such as RAM and secondary devices. During POS, the following inventories of hardware devices are checked: secondary storage devices, interfaces, keyboard, mouse, COM or USB ports, etc. Upon POS process concludes that all components are working well and the CPU initially successfully completed, BIOS now reads master boot record, located on 0 sector on hard disk. This is how hard disk sector looks. CMOS chip checks which drive the MBR is located or to load from. This is known as boot sequence. The starting sequence we can set in CMOS setup. In the right drive, BIOS will encounter the boot record, which tells where is the beginning of the OS and subsequent program files that will initialize the OS. BIOS loads MBR into memory and starts executing whatever code is in the MBR. What is inside MBR? It contains bootstrapping program and partition table details. Once the previous steps are completed and the MBR is safely loaded into RAM, the boot process relinquishes control to the OS. From this point onwards, the OS system takes over the control and presents user interface for users to interact with the system.
Beautiful life 난 너의 곁에 있을게 It's beautiful life 너의 뒤에 서 있을게 Beautiful life 하늘 아래 너와 있다면 숨 쉬는 것만으로도 좋아 It's beautiful life, beautiful day 너의 기억에서 내가 살 텐데 Beautiful life, beautiful day 내 곁에서 머물러줘 Beautiful my love Beautiful your heart It's beautiful life It's beautiful life It's beautiful life 언제나 널 지켜줄게 It's beautiful life 내게 기댈 수가 있게 Beautiful life